Okay, 2.4, Part 2. Um, we're going to try to understand what we just read in Young Goodman Brown. It says, where does the story take place? Salem, Massachusetts. Um, what does Goodman Brown's elderly traveling companion look like? An old man with a staff that cared more about the staff than the old man. The staff looked like a serpent, like a snake. Um, I don't really remember what the old man looked like. What does Goody Cloyce say happened to her broomstick? She lost it, I think. After crying out for his wife in the forest, what does Goodman Brown see fluttering through the air? I think that's like the embers of the fire. What does the shape of evil? I guess that's shape of evil say about human nature. Why is that capitalized? What do you mean by shape of evil? The devil? Anyway, okay, so he went into the forest and discovered that everyone is evil. And then from that day forward, till the day he died, he never really trusted anybody. And I guess what the story is trying to say is that there's a little bit of evil in everybody, and that uh, nobody is 100% good, even if they go to church, even if they pray. Nobody's 100% good. I don't think it was trying to imply that everyone is 100% evil. That's kind of what it came across because they were all like making a compact with the devil. So if he was trying to instill like ambiguity, I'm not sure it really worked. Okay, compare and contrast literary elements. Okay, so it's got a gothic setting, which makes it similar to Telltale Heart, and it explored the nature of good and evil, which makes it similar to the Telltale Heart. Telltale Heart, he, the narrator was driven mad by the evil eye that the old man had. Um, the old man was nothing but good and kind to him. He even said that in the story. He was a great man. The only thing that he didn't like was that evil eye, the blue eye with the film over it. Um, oh, they also want us to compare it to the first fig. Let's see here. Hawthorne uses symbolism. Okay, the forest symbolizes evil. My faith, right? I remember that when he said, "My faith is gone." It was almost like a pun. It's not symbolism; that's a pun. Created the wife's character to symbolize Brown's good beliefs. Created the forest setting to symbolize the evil that could destroy his beliefs. Let's see the theme. The theme is common. Both stories are messages about the effects of good and evil in people's daily lives. The main character literally faces evil in the woods in the form of witches and devils. Okay, in the Telltale Heart, the narrator commits evil deeds, and his conscience is the goodness. Right. That the hearing of the beating of the heart against his will, and then he finally confesses. The point of view is different because in Telltale Heart it's first person, in Goodman Brown it's third person. The genre is similar because they're both gothic. Okay, let's look at this reflect and respond. In Young Goodman Brown, the narrator explains that Brown awoke from a dream and he was alone in the forest. However, the story's conclusion implies that Brown had a real experience. Do you think Brown's trip to the forest was all a dream, or was it a real trip where Brown experienced evil? Use details from the story to support your opinion. Okay. There was a moment where he sits down, like way in the beginning, he sits down. You could say he fell asleep there, and that everything after that point was a dream. Okay, critical thinking questions. I may not have needed to do a part 2. This is not turning out as long as I thought it would. Let's see. From what point of view is young Goodman Brown told? Third person. Third person focusing on Goodman Brown. He's the POV character, point of view character. What literary device do both the First Fig and young Goodman Brown use? First Fig. My candle burns at both ends. It will not last the night, but ah, my foes and oh, my friends, it makes a lovely light. What literary device? Symbolism, I guess, is what they want you to say. What element of Gothic literature do both the Telltale Heart and young Goodman Brown use? Supernatural elements, definitely. Dark and spooky setting. Crazy people, maybe? At the beginning of the short story, is there anything about young Goodman Brown that seems evil? Why do you think Brown followed the traveler with the staff? Yes, actually, that's one thing that bugs me is he's like willingly going on this trip into the forest, even though it's all suspicious, everything's weird. He's still willingly going on the trip. He could have said no at any point. What's this story trying to tell the audience about human nature? No, something very heavy-handed, I'm sure. Are people bad by nature, or do they end up harming themselves by believing that the world is a bad place? I think the point of the story, now, regardless of my personal beliefs, I think the point of the story is that all people are bad by nature. And it might be a thought experiment on the concept of original sin, and he's saying that all of them are still experiencing original sin. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. Flashcards. Theme is the general point of the story, message or lesson, and then the narrator is the person telling the story. Alright, it was fairly painless. I hope that made sense. I hope it helped. I'll meet you in the next lesson.